Chosen one, God says you have gone viral in the realm that actually matters, and what is being said about you there is unbelievable. Not viral the way the world means it, not cheap noise, not gossip rising from the mouths of people who never understood your story. Something has begun moving in the unseen. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have never entered, in conversations you were never invited into, in the minds of people who once overlooked you, underestimated you, or assumed you would stay hidden forever. But hear this clearly. It is not happening because you forced your way into the spotlight. It is happening because heaven has released a signal over your life, and the timing God set for you has been activated. This is not you chasing attention. This is God turning a key. Maybe you are hearing this in the quiet of your room. Maybe you are exhausted after another day of carrying things no one knows about. Maybe you have been smiling in public while privately fighting a storm no one can see. You have prayed through tears. You have stayed kind when your heart was breaking. You have helped others stand while your own soul felt weak. And more than once you whispered, "God, do you still see me?" Heaven answers plainly, yes, God has seen everything. He saw the nights you cried without a witness. He saw the moments you stayed silent instead of striking back. He saw the times you kept walking through the fire when no one even knew you were burning. And now he is answering not with noise, but with a shift you can already feel in your spirit. I want to be honest with you about the 24 hours because this is not a threat, and it is not a countdown designed to scare you into anything. It is a way of naming that you are standing in a sacred window, what Scripture calls a set time, an appointed hour. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3:1. This is not a message that disappears if you blink. It is an invitation to become still and hear what heaven is saying while the door is moving. Like young Samuel in the night when he finally answered, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." 1 Samuel 3:10. This is your moment to still your heart and listen. The voice that formed the stars is speaking into your destiny, and your name is written on the door that is beginning to open. There is something happening behind the scenes right now that your eyes have not seen, but your spirit has already felt. Quiet conversations are taking place in rooms you have never walked into. Your name is being mentioned in places you did not apply to enter. It is not loud yet. It is not fully visible yet, but there is movement, a sacred current flowing beneath the surface. And what began as a whisper is gaining weight in the unseen. This is not gossip. This is heaven allowing the right eyes to finally notice what God placed on your life long before the world had language for it. You thought you were being ignored. You thought your obedience had fallen into silence. You thought the kindness you gave, the integrity you kept, the pain you carried without exposing anyone, had all been buried in the wilderness. But nothing was buried. It was planted, and now the ground is beginning to break open. Think about Joseph, forgotten in a prison for years, his name unknown to the powerful, his gift buried under injustice. He did not lobby for his freedom. He did not scheme his way in front of Pharaoh. But at the appointed hour, his name rose in a conversation. He did not start a cupbearer, suddenly remembered him. And within a single day, Joseph went from the prison to the palace. He did not make it happen. God did. His years of hidden faithfulness had built a reputation in heaven long before it was spoken on earth. And when the timing was right, heaven simply released it. That is exactly what is happening to you. You have not been networking your way into these rooms. God has been building your name in the unseen, and now he is letting it be spoken where you never set foot. And think of Mordecai, who once saved a king's life and received nothing for it, his good deed recorded in a book, and then forgotten for years, overlooked, unrewarded, until one night the king could not sleep. And of all the things that could have been read to him, the record of Mordecai's forgotten faithfulness was opened and read aloud. What honor and recognition has Mordecai received for this? The king asked. Esther 6:3. In a single turn, the man who was overlooked was paraded through the city in royal honor. Nothing you did in the hidden season is truly forgotten. Heaven keeps records. And there are things written in your book, acts of faithfulness. No one ever thanked you for that. God is about to read aloud over your life. The delay in your reward was never a denial of it. It was simply waiting for the right night to be opened. If that just reached the tired place in you, the part that wondered if anyone saw, then before we go deeper, Do one small thing so this word can keep finding you. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Not for the sake of a video, but because a season like this needs steady reminders, and I do not want the next one to miss you. And if your spirit is agreeing, leave one word in the comments. Seen. Just seen a quiet declaration that you know now you were never invisible to God. Now stay with me, because before you can understand why your name is rising, you have to understand why God kept you hidden for so long. Have you ever cried so quietly that even the people near you had no idea something inside you was falling apart? Maybe no one saw the way your hands trembled after another disappointment. Maybe no one heard the prayers you whispered when your strength was almost gone. They only saw the version of you that kept showing up, kept helping, kept smiling, kept carrying responsibilities, as if your own heart were not bleeding underneath. And for a season it felt like heaven was silent, not absent silent. That silence tested places in you that applause could never reach. It pulled you into a wilderness where there were no crowds, no explanations, no quick answers, only God watching what you would do when no one was clapping for your faithfulness. There were days you wondered whether you had been forgotten. But the truth is deeper than what your pain told you. You were not abandoned, you were being covered. You were not rejected, you were being reserved. You were not pushed aside, you were being protected from hands that were never qualified to touch what God was building in you. There are seeds that cannot survive under too many eyes. There are callings that must grow in hidden soil before they can carry public weight. There are mantles that cannot be placed on a soul still addicted to approval. So God allowed the hidden season not to punish you, but to prepare you. Not to break your identity, but to separate your identity from the voices that once defined you. Think of David. Before anyone called him king, he was in a field where only sheep witnessed his obedience. Before the oil ever touched his head, his hands had already fought lions and bears in private, where no one was watching. The palace did not create him. The wilderness revealed him, and that is why your lonely season mattered. That is why the nights you survived were not wasted. The fire did not consume you, it burned away what could not go with you. The furnace was not your ending, it was your evidence. Every betrayal that should have made you bitter became a place where God taught you restraint. Every delay that made you question the promise became a hidden classroom for endurance. Every door that stayed shut kept you out of rooms where your spirit would have been drained, used, or misunderstood. What looked like loss was often mercy wearing a disguise. What felt like distance was often divine protection standing between you and something that would have cost you your peace. So when your emotions rise, do not shame yourself for feeling deeply. That ache is proof that you carried something heavy and still refused to let your heart turn cold. That exhaustion is proof that you kept walking through a storm in armor no one else could see. And that quiet stirring in your chest right now is not weakness returning. It is destiny waking up. There is something else the hidden season did in you that you may not have noticed, and it is one of the most valuable things you now carry. It made you into someone who does not need a crowd to stay faithful. Most people only do what is right when someone is watching, but you learned to be honest in the dark, to keep your integrity when there was no applause for it, to pray when no one knew, to forgive when no one would have blamed you for holding a grudge. That is a rare kind of character, and it is exactly the character God can trust with visibility. He does not hand a public platform to a soul that only performs for attention. He builds, in secret, a person who will stay the same whether the room is empty or full. If your season was long, it is often because what he was building in you was substantial. You cannot rush the making of something that is meant to last. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke 16:10. Your faithfulness in the little, hidden things is the very reason you can now be trusted with more. And here is a mercy hidden inside the weight that will reframe your whole memory of it. God was not only protecting what he was building in you, he was protecting you from a version of success that would have cost you your soul. There is a kind of rising that comes too early and destroys people because they were elevated before their character could hold the weight. God loved you too much to let that happen to you. So he kept you in the field a little longer, kept you low a little longer, until the roots were deep enough to hold the height. What felt like being held back was actually being held together. The same delay you grieved was the very thing that guaranteed you would not fall apart at the top. Thank him for the wait. It was one of the greatest kindnesses he ever showed you, even though it wore the disguise of a closed door. Something has changed in the atmosphere around you, and deep down you already know it. This is not ordinary restlessness. It is a sacred disturbance, a holy pressure, a divine alarm sounding in the deepest part of your spirit. Heaven is moving pieces you cannot see, and your soul is reacting before your mind can explain it. That is why ordinary moments have started to feel heavy. A simple conversation carries a strange weight. A message or a silence suddenly feels charged with meaning. Do not ignore this. Many people miss divine timing because they mistake spiritual urgency for anxiety. And there is a difference. Anxiety scatters you. This is calling you deeper. Anxiety makes you panic. This is making you pay attention. Anxiety pushes you into fear. This is pulling you into alignment. The shaking you feel is not meant to destroy your peace. It is meant to wake up your discernment. God is not letting you feel this shift so you can run from it. He is letting you feel it because your destiny is no longer distant. It is approaching. The stage is changing. What was locked is loosening. What was delayed is beginning to move. There is a weight on your voice now, an authority in your silence now. Even people around you can feel it, though many will not know what to call it. That is why some are suddenly watching you differently. That is why certain rooms feel uncomfortable when you enter. That is why old patterns no longer fit, and old conversations drain you faster. God is separating you from what cannot enter the next door with you. And yes, it may feel intense, even lonely, even like a storm gathering over your life. But not every storm comes to break you. Some storms arrive to clear the path. Now let me speak carefully about the attention beginning to rise around you, because it is easy to misread it. When heaven begins to reveal what you carry, it does not always start with a crowd. Sometimes it starts with one witness, one heart that begins to shift. One person who suddenly remembers your name, speaks of your strength, or feels led to move closer. Do not build a fantasy around any single person, and do not put your worth in whether anyone notices you. Their attention is not the source of your value. It is only a sign that what God placed inside you is becoming visible. God can cause the right eyes to recognize what the wrong people ignored. The way Boaz noticed Ruth's character before he ever became part of her future. He saw her honor, her humility, her faithfulness, something deeper than the surface. That is how heaven works. It lets what was hidden be recognized, in God's time, by the people God assigns. So when connection comes, do not panic and do not chase. Test the spirit, watch the fruit, and let peace be your confirmation. What is from God will carry weight, but it will also carry peace. But understand this with spiritual maturity. When favor begins to rise, not everyone who comes close is sent by heaven. Elevation does not arrive alone. It comes with attention, with pressure, with voices, with people trying to step into a place they were never assigned to occupy. What God is opening is holy, and holiness must be protected. Some will come because they finally recognize what they once ignored. Some will come because your harvest has become visible, and they want to stand close enough to benefit from what they never helped you carry. This is not meant to make you suspicious of everyone. It is meant to awaken discernment. There is a difference between love and access. There is a difference between forgiveness and permission. You may see people return without explanation, a sudden message, a soft apology, a casual "I was thinking about you." Someone who disappeared when you were in the storm may reappear when the floodgates begin to open. Be gracious, but do not be naive. God did not bring you through the furnace, so you could hand your peace back to the same patterns that once drained you. And here, right at the place where the ground is breaking open into harvest, let me offer you something completely optional and only from faith. In Scripture, the first response to a harvest was never to hoard it. It was to honor the God who gave it with the first fruits. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops, Proverbs 3-9. Some people, in a moment like this, want to plant a small seed of first fruits, a thank you to the God who kept them hidden and is now bringing the harvest. If that stirs you, you can sow through the super thanks or the giving link, purely as worship. But hear me once and clearly, Your harvest is not for sale, and God's favor cannot be purchased. Give only if your heart is glad to, and if this is still a lean season, keep it and receive the word freely. The harvest is coming to you either way. This is the hidden test inside the breakthrough. Can you carry favor without needing everyone's approval? Can you walk through the divine door without dragging old confusion with you? Remember Nehemiah rebuilding the wall while Sanballat and Tobiah tried again and again to lure him down off of it into pointless conflict. His answer became legendary. I am carrying on a great project and cannot go down. Why should the work stop while I leave it and go down to you? Nehemiah 6:3. Let that become the posture of your spirit. You are doing a great work. You cannot come down to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You cannot come down to argue with old voices or to entertain distractions dressed up as opportunities. Guard your peace. Test the spirit behind every invitation. Watch the fruit, not just the words. What is sent by heaven will strengthen your purpose. It will not require you to betray the person God has fought so hard to form in you. And this is where many chosen vessels stumble. They begin to apologize for the very favor God told them to carry. There is a strange guilt that comes after surviving the fire. You start to feel bad for the light that remains on you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because people around you begin acting differently when they can no longer recognize the version of you they were used to controlling. They preferred you when you were unsure. They understood you better when you were tired, apologizing, shrinking, waiting for permission to become who God already called you to be. Here is a secret many people will never tell you. Some people are not offended by your attitude, they are offended by your healing. They are not disturbed because you became proud. They are disturbed because you became free. The peace on your life exposes the chaos they expected you to carry forever. The clarity in your spirit interrupts the old story they built about you. They thought pain would make you bitter. They thought rejection would make you desperate. They thought delay would make you doubt the promise. Instead, God used everything that should have buried you as the very material of your becoming. So stop lowering your voice when heaven has given you a testimony. Stop hiding your joy because someone else is uncomfortable with your restoration. Stop explaining the oil to people who were not present when God crushed you, healed you, filled you, and taught you to stand again. What you carry did not come from performance. It came from surrender. From nights when nobody saw you choose forgiveness over revenge, prayer over panic, obedience over escape. This is not arrogance. This is evidence. The enemy would love nothing more than for you to apologize for surviving, to walk through the divine door with your head down, still asking if you deserve to be there. But God does not open a kingdom door so you can crawl through it in shame. He opens it so you can walk through with reverence, humility, and holy confidence. If you are ready to stop shrinking and start walking in the favor God placed on you, do not lose this. Subscribe and turn on the bell so the truth keeps reaching you on the days the old smallness tries to creep back. And if this is stirring something, leave the word free in the comments, a declaration that you will no longer apologize for your healing. This channel exists for exactly the ones heaven is bringing out of the hidden place. Stay close. Now let me show you what the spotlight is truly for, because it is far more sacred than applause. There is a reason heaven is letting your story rise now, and it is deeper than people noticing your name. This is not about applause. It is not about proving the doubters wrong. Something more sacred is happening. God is taking the pain you carried in private and turning it into a public testimony of His faithfulness. The world may look at your life and see strength, but heaven knows where that strength came from. The nights you almost gave up, but whispered one more prayer. The betrayals where you refused to let hatred become your home. The seasons with no visible proof that anything was changing, where you kept believing God was still writing something behind the curtain. People may admire the version of you they see now, but they do not know the cost of the peace you carry. That is why this moment must be held with reverence. The spotlight is not a throne for your ego. It is a lampstand for your testimony. The attention rising around you is not meant to make you worship yourself. It is meant to make others look at your life and wonder, how did God bring them through that? Your survival has become a message. Your healing has become evidence. Your restoration is no longer only personal, it is becoming a sign to people who still believe their own story is too broken to be redeemed. And when they ask how you made it through the storm, you will not need a long explanation. You will not need to list every wound, every closed door, every person who walked away. You will simply know where to point. You will say, "God never let go of me." That sentence carries more weight than revenge ever could. It speaks louder than defending yourself. It releases more power than trying to make people understand what they were never present to witness. This is the holy danger of your next season. People may see the glory and forget the God behind it. Do not let that happen inside you. Stay near the source. Stay soft before the one who lifted you. Stay humble enough to remember that the same hand opening doors now is the hand that held you when no one saw you shaking. Your story is powerful, but only because the author is faithful. Your light is visible, but only because God guarded the flame through the darkness. Let me give you a way to guard your heart through this rising, because favor tests a person as surely as hardship does, sometimes more. In the wilderness, the danger was despair. In the harvest, the danger is pride and self-sufficiency, and slowly drifting from the God you clung to when you had nothing. So build one habit into this new season. Return every single day to gratitude and to your knees. Before the day fills with new opportunities and new voices, remind your own soul where you came from and who carried you. Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. Deuteronomy 8:18. The moment you begin to believe your own strength produced this harvest is the moment the harvest starts to become dangerous to you. Stay a servant even as you rise, and the rising will never ruin you. The proud God resists, but the humble He keeps lifting. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up. James 4:10. And do not let the noise of new attention drown out the still, small voice that guided you in the quiet when you were hidden. It was easy to hear God because there was nothing else to listen to. Now, as the crowd grows and the invitations multiply, His voice has not gotten quieter, but the noise around it has gotten louder. Guard your quiet times fiercely. Protect the place of prayer that got you here. The single greatest mistake a person can make in a season of rising is to abandon the intimacy with God that made the rising possible in the first place. Do not become so busy being seen by people that you forget to be seen by Him. The applause of the crowd can never replace the whisper of the one who kept you. Stay in the secret place, even now that the public place is opening. The secret place is where the oil is refilled, and you will need more oil for what is ahead, not less. You are also going to have to learn a new kind of courage in this season. And it is not the courage to fight. It is the courage to receive. Some people who survive great hardship become so used to struggling that they do not know how to accept good when it finally comes. They brace for the next blow even in the middle of a blessing. They sabotage the door because they cannot believe it is really for them. If that is a temptation in you, hear this: you are allowed to receive. You are allowed to walk through the door without waiting for it to slam. You are allowed to believe that God's goodness toward you is real and is not a trick. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. Psalm 23:6. Goodness is following you now. Do not run from it out of an old habit of expecting pain. Turn around, open your hands, and let the goodness catch up to you. Because your story is rising, people from your past may reach for a seat in your future, and this is where discernment becomes everything. The closer you get to the door God is opening, the louder the past may become. Do not be surprised when old names begin to appear again. Do not be shocked when someone who once walked away suddenly finds a reason to speak. A message may come, a memory may return, a familiar voice may reach across the distance as if nothing ever happened, and for a moment your heart may feel the pull of what used to be. But listen carefully. Not every return is restoration. Some come back because God has truly touched their heart, and conviction has finally caught up with them. But others come near only because they can sense that your value is no longer hidden. They did not want to sit with you in the wilderness, but now they can smell the harvest. They did not help you rebuild when your walls were broken, but now they want access to the city God restored. This is where discernment must rise louder than emotion. You can forgive without reopening the door. You can love without returning to bondage. You can wish someone well without giving them a seat in the room God prepared for your next assignment. The version of you they remember is not the one standing here now. You have crossed storms they never saw. You have buried old patterns, old fears, old attachments, old ways of begging to be understood. Do not resurrect what God already delivered you from. This next door was not built for your past identity. It was built for the person heaven formed in the hidden place. That is why some connections will not fit anymore. Familiar does not always mean assigned. Emotional history does not always mean divine alignment. Sometimes the thing that feels safe is only familiar because it once kept you small. And I want to be clear, because discernment is not the same as bitterness. Guarding the door is not about punishing anyone. It is not your job to keep a record of who abandoned you, or to relish the moment they realize what they lost. That heart poisons the very harvest you waited for. You can forgive completely and still not hand someone a key. You can bless someone from a distance and still not build your future with them. Forgiveness sets you free from the past. Discernment protects your future. You need both. Hold no grudge, but hold your boundaries. Wish them well, but walk your own road. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. As far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:17-18. As far as it depends on you, meaning you keep your own heart clean, whatever they choose. That is how you walk into your harvest unburdened, hands open in forgiveness, but eyes open in wisdom. There is a grace God gives for this exact tension, and you should ask Him for it, the grace to love people without being controlled by them, to be kind without being naive, to keep your heart soft while keeping your boundaries firm. That is one of the hardest balances in the whole of the Christian life, and you cannot manufacture it by willpower. It is fruit of the Spirit, grown as you stay close to God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Galatians 5:22-23. Notice that both gentleness and self-control are on the same list, the softness and the strength. Growing side by side from the same root. Ask God to grow both in you, and He will make you a person who can hold favor and people wisely at the same time. God is not only removing wrong connections, He is making room for holy ones. People are coming who will not compete with your calling, who will not drain your spirit or require you to shrink so they can feel secure. They will carry peace. They will carry honor. They will recognize the weight of your assignment without trying to control it. This is why the promise stands. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Revelation 3:8. What God opens cannot be closed by regret, by gossip, by jealousy, or by the hands of people who fail to recognize you in your hidden season. The door is real, the key has turned, so let the past watch if it must. You are not walking backward to explain your healing, you are walking forward to fulfill your destiny. Right here at the door, let me offer you a second invitation again, completely optional and never from pressure. There is a kind of giving that is not about you at all. It is about sowing into someone else's harvest. Right now, somewhere, another soul is still in their hidden season, still crying without a witness, still wondering if God forgot them. When you sow into a work that carries this word to them, you are planting seed in their field before they even know their door is about to open. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle, for you do not know which will succeed. Ecclesiastes 11:6. If your heart is moved to plant into someone else's breakthrough, you can give through the super thanks or the giving link, but only from gladness, and if you have nothing to spare, your prayers and your sharing sow just as powerfully. No one is ever shut out of this harvest for lack of money. Now here is the deepest truth of this whole message. Your name is not rising because people suddenly decided to notice you. Your name is rising because heaven decided your hidden season can no longer stay hidden. God is turning your private survival into a public testimony. He is allowing people to speak of you because your life is becoming evidence that He still restores, still remembers, still rewards the faithful, and still opens doors no human hand can shut. This is your harvest, not luck, not coincidence, not emotional excitement, but divine timing meeting a prepared vessel. Everything you endured, every silent tear, every closed door, every betrayal, every lonely season, every prayer you whispered when your strength was gone was not wasted. It was seed. Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Those who go out weeping, carrying seed to sow, will return with songs of joy, carrying sheaves with them. Psalm 126-5-6. And now the ground is breaking open. The floodgates are moving. The divine door is no longer only shaking in the spirit, it is beginning to open before your eyes. But understand this clearly. This harvest is not only about blessing, it is about assignment. God is not lifting you so you can worship the spotlight. He is lifting you so your life can point back to Him. The influence coming to you must be carried with humility. The attention coming to you must be guarded with discernment. The opportunities coming to you must be handled with clean hands and a surrendered heart. You are not stepping into this season to perform. You are stepping into it to obey. Here is the final secret, and it changes how you walk from here. God did not just restore you, He released you. He released you from the old version of yourself. He released you from the opinions that once trapped you. He released you from rooms that were too small for your calling, and from people who could only recognize your pain but never your purpose. And now He is sending you forward with spiritual armor, holy confidence, and a testimony that darkness could not destroy. And do not miss what released truly means, because it is more than being set free from something, it is being sent into something. A prisoner is set free, an arrow is released. You are not merely walking out of the old season, you are being launched into the assignment you were made for. That is why the enemy fought your hidden years so hard, not because you were weak, but because he could see what you were being formed into. He knew that a released you was a dangerous you, so he tried to keep you doubting, keep you small, keep you convinced the door would never open. But he lost. The door is opening, and the arrow is leaving the bow. You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and hills will burst into song before you. Isaiah 55:12. Go out in joy. The very obstacles that stood in your way are about to become a testimony of what God can do with a faithful life. So carry this into every room you now enter. When fear tries to whisper that you do not belong, remind it that God Himself opened the door, and no one questions the guest the King invited. When the old smallness tries to make you shrink, remember that shrinking dishonors the God who lifted you. When the applause grows loud, turn it quietly into worship and give the glory back to the one it belongs to. And when the hard days still come, because they will, even in a season of favor, remember that the God who kept you in the wilderness has not changed, and He will keep you in the harvest too. Being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Philippians 1-6. He is not finished. He is only just beginning to show what He was doing in the dark all along. Before we close in prayer, let me ask you one last time, and then I will leave it be. If this is the kind of word you want walking with you into this new season, subscribe and stay close. Not so you never miss a video, but so that on the day the door actually swings open, the reminder that God prepared you for it is already in your hands. And if you know someone still in their hidden season, someone weary, someone who needs to hear that their harvest is not dead, share this with them. Your share may be the seed that reaches them the night before their own door opens. I want to speak to who you actually are now. On this side of the hidden season, you are not someone the world finally decided to notice. You are someone heaven refused to leave buried. You are a field that was planted in secret and is now breaking into harvest. You are a testimony wearing skin, and the same God who covered you in the wilderness is the God walking you through the open door, not to make much of you, but to make much of Himself through you. That is a weight and an honor at the same time, and He has trusted you with both. And notice what your rising is meant to do for other people, because this is the part that makes it holy rather than self-serving. When one hidden person finally comes into their harvest, it becomes proof to every other hidden person that God has not forgotten them either. Your breakthrough preaches. Someone who has been on the edge of giving up will see your restored life and find the strength to hold on one more season. Someone who believed their own story was too broken will look at yours and dare to hope again. That is why God brings the faithful out of hiding, not only to reward them, but to make them a sign to the many still waiting in the dark. You are not rising for yourself alone. You are rising as evidence, as a first fruit, as a living answer to 100 silent prayers you will never even hear about. Carry it with that awareness. And the favor will never make you proud, it will only make you grateful and generous and gentle with everyone still in the wilderness you just came out of. So do not despise how long the road was. Do not resent the years it took. The depth of your hidden season is the reason your testimony now carries weight. A shallow story helps no one, but a life that went through the furnace and came out shining that changes people. Every tear you cried in the dark became credibility you now carry in the light. Every night you survived became a message someone else desperately needs to hear. God wasted none of it. He was writing a testimony large enough to reach the very people he is about to send you to. So walk carefully, but do not walk afraid. Carry the favor without apology, but carry it on your knees. Receive the attention without needing it, and refuse the counterfeit that only wants access to your harvest. Stay near the God who kept you, and let your restored life preach louder than any explanation ever could. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 60:1. Your light has come, not because you manufactured it, because God guarded it through the dark, and is now letting it be seen. And if your heart is longing to keep this close, to hold on to God's faithfulness on the ordinary mornings and the quiet evenings, to carry a word of peace as you walk through the door into this new season, I have gathered something gentle for you. Over at Noble Soul, at noblespiritual.com, you will find quiet blessing cards, morning and evening reflections, and simple, beautiful pieces made for exactly these kinds of seasons. The season of coming out of hiding, of trusting God's timing, of walking humbly into what He has prepared. Nothing loud, nothing urgent. Just quiet companions for a heart learning to carry favor with peace. When you are ready, the link is waiting in the description and the pinned comment, like a soft place to land. And as we come to the very end, one last gentle invitation, then only a blessing. If this word met you tonight and gave you back your hope, you may want to seal the moment by planting one final seed of faith as you step through the door, the way people in Scripture built an altar to mark the place where God met them. Give through the super thanks or the giving link if your heart is glad to, as a quiet thank you to the God who kept you hidden and is now bringing you out. God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians 9:7. But hear my heart one more time. This is worship, never a toll. If you are still in your own lean season, keep what you have and simply receive. The door opens for you the same. Now let this be prayed over you. Father God, I lift up the one hearing this right now. You know every battle they survived in silence, the nights they cried, the prayers they could barely speak, the moments they kept choosing faith when nothing around them made sense. Lord, cover their heart as this new season begins. Give them wisdom for every open door, discernment for every connection, and humility for every blessing. Protect them from confusion, pride, fear, and every voice that tries to pull them back into what you already delivered them from. Let their life become a testimony of your faithfulness. Let their harvest bring healing, purpose, and glory to your name. Go before them, stand beside them, and let your presence never depart from them. Hear this final word over your life, chosen one. You have not been forgotten. Your hidden season was never punishment, it was preparation. The silence was never absence, it was covering. And the harvest breaking open around you is not the world catching up to you. It is God keeping His word. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. Walk through the door. He is already on the other side of it, and so it is. Amen.